Good morning again. Today we're going to talk a little bit more about finding fractions on the number line. Last week or before break we talked about how we could find fractions on the number line. So we're going to do a quick review of labeling this number line with halves, including the improper fractions. So I'm just going to review how to label this number line and what an improper fraction is. So an improper fraction is a fraction greater than 1 that is not expressed as a mixed number. So this would be a mixed number. 1 and 1/2 would be represented as a mixed number. An improper fraction that would equal that mixed number would be 3/2. So let me show you on the number line how that would work. There's 1/2, 2/2, 3/2. So we have 1 whole and half of another. So 1 and 1/2 is represented here, and 3/2 is represented here, but they're equal to each other. So we're going to label this number line using halves. So let's start with this first jump. That's equal to half. 2/2 is equal to 1 whole, or 2/2. Another jump would equal 3/2. If I jumped again, that would be 4/2. And so on. And I could just keep on labeling this, just like this, until I got to the end of our number line. But I want you to take a second and I want you to look closely at the numbers that I'm putting in the rectangles. These all have something in common. What do you notice about the fraction and the whole number that is represented by them? That's right, you should be able to divide the fraction, 8 divided by 2, and get the whole number, 4. And the same should be true for 3 and 6/2. 6 divided by 2 equals 3. So if you wanted to find what the fraction for 5 would be, the half fraction for 5, all you would have to do is think what divided by 2 equals 5. Or 5 times 2 equals, that's right, 10. So the fraction for the whole number 5 in halves would be 10/2 is equal to 5 wholes. Let's try another one. This time I'm going to erase the whole board. What if I wanted to find the fraction for 7? So I want to find how many halves are in 7. So I could think to myself this way. What divided by 2 equals 7? Or 7 times what? 2 equals what? That's right, 14. So 14/2 is equal to 7. So I think we've got a good review on that. I think we remember how to do that. Let's go and take a look and see if we can label a number line in fourths. I'm going to go ahead and erase this number line. And if I were to make some additional marks on our number line, like one here and one here, just like this. Now I've broken my number line into 4 sections. I'm going to erase those too, make them a little bit prettier. Now I've broken each section of my number line into 4 sections. So if I wanted to label this section, this first spot right here would be 1/4 of my number line. Just like this next line would be 2/4 of my number line. Then I would have 3/4, and 1 whole would be 4/4. I could continue on all the way through my whole number line until I've gotten all the way here, which should be the same as what? So this would be 5/4, 6/4, 7/4, 8/4, 9/4, 10/4, 11/4, 12/4, 13, 14, 15, 16/4. Let's take a look at another number line. That's my thirds. There is my fourths number line. So let's compare, or let's see which fraction is greater. You can see that on this number line there are fourths as well as halves marked. So if I wanted to circle the greater fraction, 7/4 or 7/2, I would have to find them on the number line. Now, one of the rules that I've always told you guys is that if the numerators are the same, the smaller denominator will be your larger fraction. So let's see if that's true. Let's find 7/4 on our number line. Right there it is. And let's find 7/2 on our number line. Oh, there it is. So you can see that 7/4 is just after 1, while 7/2 comes after 3. So which one is the greater fraction? That's right, 7/2. Let's now find the fraction that is less in this next problem. Let me erase all of that. So which is less, 6/2 or 6/4? Again, the smaller the denominator, the larger the fraction, if the numerator is the same. So if this is true, I should be able to say, without even looking on the number line, that 6/4 is less than 6/2. But let's see if we can figure it out. Let's find 6/4 on our number line first. Right here it is. Now let's find 6/2 on our number line. Oh, right there it is. So we said, without even looking, that 6/4 was less than 6/2. Were we right? We were. I'm going to give you a second now to look at the rest of these and try to figure them out on your own. And then we'll answer them together. I'm going to go out just a little bit. Which one is greater, 13/4 or 5/4? Numerators the same or different, denominators the same. 3/2 or 8/2? Which one is less? Circle the fraction that is equal to 3. Circle the fraction that is equal to 4. And circle the fraction that is greater. So let's go back to this one, circle the fraction that is greater, because we've been talking about what happens if the numerator is the same but the denominator is different. Well, they tried to trick us this time. This time the denominator is the same and the numerator is different. When the denominator is the same, then it's always going to be the bigger numerator is the larger fraction or the greater fraction. So let's find it on our number line. We're looking for 13/4 and 5/4. Well, here is 13/4 and here is 5/4. Which one is greater? Yes, 13/4. So then here on this next one, we want to find the fraction that is less, 3/2 or 8/2. Again, we want to look for the fraction when the denominator is the same. We want to look for the larger numerator. So 8/2 is right here, and 3/2 is right here. So which one is the less fraction? It would be 3/2. For this next one, they want us to find the fraction that is equal to the number 3. So to do this, I'm going to find the number 3 on my number line. 6/2 or 12/4. Well, I can see that 3/2 is right here and 6/2 is right here. So 6/2 is the fraction that's equal to 3. They want us to now find the fraction that's equal to 4. Well, they have here, these are the two fractions that are equal to 4. And we can't look at the numerator or the denominator because they're both different. So 16/4 I can see is right here, and 4/2 is right here. So which one is equal to 4? Well, it'd have to be 16/4. And finally, they want us to circle the fraction that's greater. Same denominator, different numerator. Remember, in this situation, the bigger the numerator, the bigger the fraction. So if the denominator is the same, then our numerator tells us which one. So if we find, I'm going to erase these again, 7/4. Oops. If we find 7/4 on our number line, which is, where is 7/4 on our number line? There it is. And we find 2/4 on our number line. Which one is greater? Well, 7/4 is because it has the larger numerator. Okay, we'll talk about this again another day.